This conference will now be recorded.
All right, we are into the geomaps, right? Okay, so in today's session, I'll continue with geomaps and also I'll work on some calculated dimensions. Okay. Okay, so here we started working on the geomaps where we started with the bubble layer map, right? So I started working on all the content layers under the geomap. Okay, so here you see the mileage and ticket amount by home office, um, all the miles and miles traveled, and the ticket amount spent on each and every home office using a bubble layer geomap. Okay, let me insert another geomap. Okay, so I insert another geomap. So this time I go with heat map layer and I use this National Geographic thing. See, generally we don't use this National Geographic. I'm just covering all the types of geomaps. I'm just using different types of layers here. Okay, so let me use a content layer. So I'll use it as heat map layer here. So heat map layer is kind of outdated, guys. We're really not using this heat map layers as of now. Okay. You want to see where your data is concentrated, then you can make use of heat maps. I just go, I add a location dimension. I still go with geo underscore home office. It will try to show all the home office locations. And then for bubble color, I'll put it based on carbon footprint. Sorry, not bubble layer, guys. It's heat map. I just go with heat map layer. Okay. So the geo dimension I go is geo underscore home office, and heat map color is based on carbon footprint. So this is the palette used. You want to change the palette, you can change. You want to reverse this, reverse. This is looking much better, right? So you see where your carbon footprints has been. Okay, using the heat map layer. This is how heat map layers work. But the one drawback with heat map layers is like, so you cannot see the values here. Even if you place your cursor here, you don't see the values. This is kind of an old way of reporting using geomaps, guys, heat map layers. So the only area where we use this heat maps is like, you want to see where your all things are concentrated. Okay, where you're having the highest sales, what are the regions with highest sales. Okay, you want to see that concentrated format, then you can make use of heat map. That's it. Apart from that, we don't really cannot do any data analytics using heat map layers because it doesn't show the values here. You see bubble layer, you just place your cursor, it shows the values. Heat map layer, even though I place my cursor there, I don't see any value. It will just show you where your sales network is concentrated, or where here you see where my office network is concentrated. Okay, so I can say like this, like carbon footprint by home office. So I created a couple of geomaps, one bubble layer, another is heat map layer. Let me insert another geomap. I'm just covering all the types of geomaps, guys, so that I'll use it in the use case. On this travel analysis dashboard, I'm going to use one or two geomaps. Okay, I'll go for another geomap. So here I go base map type. I go it as light gray. So far I use dark gray and National Geographic. This time I'm going for light gray, the default. And I'm adding the content here. Okay, so layer one, I'll go as flow layer. So flow layer geomaps, guys. Like this is a beauty in geomaps flow layers. So I go with sorry flow layer. In the flow layer, you can give origin and destination locations, and you can give some color to that flow. Okay, I take geo underscore origin. Okay, and I take geo underscore destination. Guys, I would like to see which routes are expensive and which routes are economic. I would like to see you travel from origin city to destination city, right? So in that, I just want to know which routes are economic and what routes are expensive. Okay. So what is the parameter to check whether travel is expensive? So travel fare is not a right parameter, guys. Ticket fare or travel fare is not a right parameter to check uh, whether travel is expensive because you're traveling high distances. Like for suppose, guys, you're traveling from Hyderabad to San Francisco. So high distance, you need to pay high ticket amounts. Okay, more travel time, more distance, so more will be your ticket amounts, right? So ticket amount is not the right parameter to check your, and also it also depends on your cabin class. If your cabin class is economy, obviously fares will be on lower side. Okay, so the right parameter is like the ticket amount spent for 1 mile of travel. Like we call it as fare per mile. Okay, so what determines whether your travel is expensive or economic? It is a parameter called fare per mile. Okay, so let me create that measure. I don't have that measure in my model. I'll create it as a calculation here. In the flow colors, I'll create a new calculation, a new calculated measure that is like, sorry, it's a very simple calculated measure that is fare per mile. This is nothing but your ticket amount by mileage. So I'm not, I'll go with the standard palette here. A lot of time to process the color palettes. I'll go create a new standard palette with 5 swatches. So if my average fare is lower side, it is economic travel, right? I would like to show it in green. Okay. So here guys, I just go with 5 swatches. I'll go with 4 ranges. So your range can be in percentage terms or it can be in absolute value. So I'll go with absolute values. So guys, if my average fare per mile is less than 0.5, I know these numbers, so I'm just giving it up. It should be green. 0.5 to 1, it's blue. And 1 to 2 is red. So 1 to 2 is yellow, and anything greater than 2 average fare is red. Okay, so this is like average dollar fare per mile. So okay, so I created this here map, guys. But here you see, guys, there are too many travels happen. A lot of data, so too many travels. So it's quite confusing, right? So in this case, what I do is I'll just show you. So I'll create an input control. Let me insert an input control on the dimension, either origin or destination. I'll go with origin airport code. Create an input control on origin airport code. You see all the property attributes also. Okay, this shows all it. And I want this input control to impact only. Edit this input control. Sorry, so not edit linked analysis. I want this input control to impact only my flow layer widget. So this impacts only my here I go. I take some city, some random city, Frankfurt. I'll go. So there you see all the travels happen from Frankfurt. So what are all your expensive and economic routes from Frankfurt? Okay. See guys, if you just place your cursor there, you see Frankfurt to LA, the average fare per mile is 0.8. It is in blue. Okay. Uh, just try to place your cursor properly there. Okay. Frankfurt to Seattle, it's 0.18. So it's a very economic route. Okay. So here, maybe what I do is I'll say in the show or hide, don't show the chat title, don't show the subtitle also. I'll insert a text box. So I say economic and expensive routes from. Let's add a dynamic text. So these are like the economic and expensive routes from Frankfurt. Okay, but one more big parameter which impacts your average fare is guys like your cabin class. So that also has to be checked. So in this case, what I do, let's insert another input control on cabin class. So if you travel, for suppose from Frankfurt to Seattle, there was more travels happen in economic class. It doesn't mean the route is economic, right? Okay. In this case, let's select only one class. I'll just say economic class. So you'll see all the average fares for economic class from Frankfurt to these regions. Okay. Okay. So Frankfurt to Los Angeles, earlier it is 0.8, but now if I select only economic class, it is 0.26. If I select business class, you see the average fares from one city to other city in different classes. Right? It is 1.35. So most of them are yellows and reds based on the cabin class. Right? So you can change your city. For suppose I change my city to San Francisco. Okay, I need to remove Frankfurt. You see all the travels from San Francisco to different cities. Right? So like that you see here. So this is like a flow layer geomap. So I'm determining what travels are expensive, what routes, not travels in the sense, what routes are expensive side, what routes are on economic side. Okay. So using a flow layer geomaps, economic and expensive routes from one city. Okay. Making use of a flow layer geomaps. Right. So this is what we call it as location analysis, guys. Whatever we do at the end of the day is data analytics only. Okay. But like a more uh, sophisticated way of doing the data analysis here. I'm good with Frankfurt. I'll go change my city to Frankfurt and remove San Francisco. All right, guys. Now I will. I also want to determine whether my destination is a home office or a non-home office. Okay. So in the same geomap, in the same flow layer geomap, I would like to determine whether my destination is a home office or a non-home office location. So in this case, what we can do is we can actually add multi-layer geomaps, guys. So far, all the geomaps I created, I used only one single layer. Here you see, I used only so I used only one layer. You can add multiple layers to the same geomap. Okay. Case I can simply add another layer where I can add a bubble layer and show and take a home office on the bubble layer so that you will see whether your travel is to home office or a non-home office. And also I can make use of a point of interest layer, guys. Okay. So to identify whether we are traveling to destination or non-destination, I'll make use of point of interest layer. So guys, generally POI is what we call point of interest or POI. Okay. So this point of interest, first we need to create a point of interest in the data model. Okay. On the data model and use that point of interest in this geomaps. Okay. So generally point of interests are created to locate your important locations. Okay, I repeat, it's important to locate your important places. I'll give a simple example, guys. For suppose your company is kind of a manufacturing and a retail company. Okay, they manufacture the products and they also sell in retail to the customers. Your company will have production plants, right? Your company will have warehouses where it shows all the raw material and finished goods, right? Your company will have retail stores where it sell to the customers, and your company also will have some corporate offices. Okay. So, and your company is operating across the globe. So now you want to locate all your corporate offices. You want to locate all your warehouses. all your production plants, and all your retail stores. Okay. In this case, what we do is we create a point of interest. Okay, we cannot do any data analytics guys using point of interest. We can only show the important locations. That's it. So we create a point of interest on, means in point of interest, one more advantage is you can choose different colors. Okay, so we need to create 4 point of interest here. One point of interest on retail store, one POI on production plant, one POI on warehouse, and one POI on corporate office. And then place all these in one single geomap as multi-layers. So you will see all your important locations. And for every point of interest, you can give different color. One point of interest, you give it in red. It means red means corporate offices, blue means production plants, green means retail stores, orange means warehouses, like that. Okay, I'll show you. Let me create one POI so that you understand this POI in much better way. So here, first, let me create a point of interest. So I'll open this in new tab. So where I can create a point of interest is in the modeler section. In the modeler section, you can create data models. You can also maintain public dimension tables, right? We call them for mass data management. Currency conversions also we can do. These all things I'm going to cover in the future. Here you see point of interest. Okay, you can create a PY from a shape file, from a CSV or Excel, from data model. Generally, we do it from data models. I'm creating a point of interest on data model. PY, I'm creating a point of interest for home office just to locate my office locations. I create this PY on employee travel expense model. Description and location dimension name I give it as geo underscore home office. Say create. I create this PY here. So I created a point of interest. Okay, now I'll add this point of interest here. So I'll add another content layer, layer 2. So here I choose a layer type as PY. So here you see all your office locations has been located. So I use palette color. Hello, shape. Right now you see. So these all are home office locations. You'll get to know whether travel is to a home office or a non-home office. So in general, you cannot really see this is Beijing, this is Bangalore. You cannot even see that values here, guys. In POIs, you cannot see any values. They're just used to point your important locations. I told you, right? We can create 4 POIs here for retail stores, for warehouses, etc. Add 4 layers in one geomap, 4 POI layers, and every point of interest layer you can give different colors and different shapes. I give different colors and different shapes. So one in red, one in blue, one in yellow, one in uh, green, like that. Okay. And then I also give different shapes. So based on the shape and color, you can users will identify. Okay, this is a warehouse. This is a retail store. Okay, but you cannot really do any kind of a data analysis using point of interests. And also SAP is now planning to move away from point of interest. Okay, the same you can achieve through bubble layer also, right? You can simply create a bubble layer also. You can achieve same through bubble layers also. So here I created a multi-layer geomap. So here I added couple of content layers, guys. Like one is flow layer, another one is POI layer. Two content layers under this geomap. So you can add multiple content layers into one geomap, right? So guys, so far I created 3 geomaps and I used 4 content layers: bubble, heat map, flow layer, and POI. Bubble, heat map, flow layer, and point of interest. Now let's create another geomap where I make use of corruptly. Okay, I created the geomap. Light grays, dark grays. I use transparent dark and gray. Generally, we majorly use these two only, guys, in real world. Dark gray and light gray. These are the only two types are used. For data analytics, these are best suited. Okay. Now add a content layers. I'll go for curve layer. So guys, I would like to know. I also want to do some analysis like how many travels happen from different countries. I would like to know the travel count from different countries. The number of travels happen from different countries. In this case, I add a location dimension that is geo underscore country. I'll use the location dimension as geo underscore country. Okay. It will color your entire country. Yes, the Coroplay style means it will color your entire country. If it is bubble style, it will just put a bubble there. I go with this style. It will color your entire country. So now for Coroplay color, I'll add travel count. Guys, I really don't have a measure of travel count. Let me create it as a calculation. I'll create travel count as a new calculation where I make use of aggregation here. I'll go count dimensions. I would like to count my unique travels. How do I count my unique travels? Based on travel ID, right? But there can be multiple scenarios, guys. Like, okay, if I select this travel ID, see, I got like 4 travels in this with this booking ID. This is like a booking ID. I got 4 travels. Like, first travel happened on 7th May, then 8th May, then 11th May. 2 travels on 11th May. Same traveler. So what are the travels I can say is like this is like 7th May is this right? This is the first travel. So this is like a travel from San Francisco to Toronto via Detroit. So this is like San Francisco to Toronto via Detroit. This is like a split travel. Okay. And I think this is a round trip, guys. Then Toronto to San Francisco via LA. You see? Toronto to San Francisco via LA. This is like a round trip travel. And there was a split travel happened. So on this booking ID, there are 4 travels happened. This case, I say count dimensions. Count my unique travel IDs. Okay, I also add a dimension that is travel date. Okay, if I say travel ID, so these all 4 will be counted as one. It will count your unique travel IDs. Okay, it will these all 4 will be counted as one. If I give travel ID and travel date, so then this is one record. This is another record because date is different. But these two are again counted as one. Okay, you same travel ID and date. In this case, I can go for something like origin airport code, guys. At least origin airport code is different for these two. Okay, there are no 2 records which contain same ID, same date, and same origin airport code. Okay, so now these all will be counted as 4 different records. Okay, I just say now, let's get the travel count by aggregating this count dimensions. I flip this up. I give 4 ranges and on percentage terms. Here you see, guys, in USA, we got like 2055 travels happen. Canada only 35. Germany 690. NLO. UK 864. India, we have around 61 travels, and in China, we got around 63 travels. Mexico, you see, 253 travels. Australia is again 1055 travels, right? So, like this, you can see all the travels happen from different locations. So, I say it as travel count by country. Okay. So far, we created 4 geomaps and made use of 5 uh, content layers. So the 6th is like feature layer, guys. So it is generally importing like the external geomaps. Maybe here I go. Suppose I add another content layer here, layer 2. I'll go for feature layer where you can where you can import some geomaps from the external URLs. So this one I cannot do right now in this, and we don't make use of this layer also. So you can ignore this as of now. So I created now 4 geomaps and used 5 content layers in this. Anyone, any questions on the geomaps? Now you understood, right? Concept of geomaps, how it works. So I'm going to make use of this in my reporting going forward. Uh, now you know the option, so I'm going to make use of this. Even in employee travel dashboard also, I'll use at least 1 or 2 geomaps. Anyone, any questions here? Okay. If no questions asked, so we are good. We created this geomap now. Perfectly fine. And okay. So yes, there are like few more options left over in the data modeling is I need to create few calculated dimensions. Okay. So let me create these calculated dimensions on the data modeling. Means I'll fall back to data modeling. I'll go back to data modeling and I'll start covering few extra options that were not yet covered in data modeling, like the calculated dimensions, calculated measures at the data modeling layer. Okay. All right. So just give me a minute, guys. I'll be back and I'll start working on that. Just give me a moment, please. All right. So guys, now let's move on to the calculated dimensions. Mm, I'll go back to the data model now. Okay. So guys, to create the calculated dimensions, again, we need to go rebuild the model now. So I go rebuild into the data preparation tab. Okay. So now we are into this data preparation tab. Now let's create some kind of calculations. Okay. I'll use different functions to create different calculated dimensions. So you know, for the first, mm, guys, I want some kind of a travel code, guys. Here I got something like, mm, I got a column called international domestic. So I would like to have some kind of a travel code where if your travel is international, I would like to see it as INT in uppercase. If your travel is domestic, I would like to see it as DOM in uppercase. Okay. In that case, let me create a new calculated column. So here you see there is an option called create a new calculated column. This is like transformational, one way of transformations. So I just write it as something like travel code. So here these are all of the functions that are available, guys. Some functions, we got some date functions, okay, mathematical functions, string functions, okay, etc. etc. And here, guys, in SAP Analytics Cloud, wherever you want some help anyway, type control space. Just type control space, you get help for everything. Okay, anything, for suppose you got struck something and you want some help, just type control space. So here I'll make use of a substring function, guys. Okay, just to get the first three digits, we generally make use of substring functions. Okay, so if you want to see how the substring function work, control space, type sub, just place your cursor there, don't select substring yet, just place your cursor, you will see how do you write the syntax for substring function. You'll see the syntax also, examples. Use the string, start length, and start where you want to start and how many digits you want to pull. So you imagine you have a string as Thursdays, start is 5, means T is 0, guys, H is 1, U 2, R 3, S 4, so it will start from D 5. Length is 3, it will pick the next three digits, DAY, so it will return DAY. Okay, that is how your substring works. In this case, I just go substring, take the data from international or domestic. So what I say, So take the data from this column. hmm, Then start at 0. I would like to have the first three digits. If you want to have the first three digits, start at 0. Pick the first three digits. Length is 3. If you say format, you see preview, you can do a preview also. For international, it is int. For domestic, it is dy. I want everything in uppercase. So here you have a function called uppercase where you can convert this into uppercase. In this case, what I do, I just go here now, type control space, type, or I just click on uppercase. Okay, click on uppercase. This function is selected. Uppercase, convert this substring into uppercase. So first, always the internal string gets executed, internal function, followed by outer. So you see now everything in uppercase. Okay. So guys, now we create a travel code which contains int and dy from the reference column international domestic. Okay, so like that we can create new calculation column. So here I see this is the travel code formula. Then let's make use of some date functions, guys. Okay, so here for some analysis, I would like to see the last date declared. For suppose generally, so any travel has to be claimed within 30 days. Within 30 days of the travel, guys, the claims has to be submitted within 30 days of the travel. Okay, I'm going to do some analysis in the reporting on that claim analysis. So in this case, I would like to see what is the last date to claim. Okay, so I would like to have a new column called last date to claim. So where we add 30 days to the travel date. Right, in this case, I just go create a new calculated column. So I'll use this like last date to claim. What is my last date to claim? Last date to claim is, so here I can make use of some date functions. If you come down, you have a date add. I have a function called date add. So how do we use that function? Control space. You don't know how to write the syntax, just type control space. Place your cursor on date add. It will show you how to write the syntax for date add. Give the start date, how many days you want to add, and granularity. You want to add, if you say 3 and day, it will add 3 days. If you say 3 and granularity as month, it will add 3 months. Okay. So I go date add. In this case, I go travel date. Here I would like to add 30 and granularity is day. Or I can go 1 and month also as a granularity, but some months have 31 days, right? So I'm just going with uniform 30 days format. Valid formula. Then you see for 17 January, 16th February is the last day to claim because January has got 31 days. Okay. For 26th February, 28th March because February has got 28 days on. So like that, you see the last day to claims, right? So just say okay. So it will create a new date dimension that is last day to claim. Right. We have a new date dimension from travel date. Right. So guys, I would like to know what is my travel day also. Okay. So very important, guys. I'm going to do some analysis in the reporting, like on what days my fares are on higher side and what days my fares are on lower side. Okay. whether my fares are high on weekdays or weekends. I would like to know that. I would like to do that kind of analysis. In this case, now I would like to determine my travel day also. Okay, whether my travel happening on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, like that. In that case, I'll go create a new column. So here I just pick like travel underscore day. Hmm. For travel day, I'll use the option called day of week. Here you see an option called day of week. Day of week is if you give any date, it will return whether it is Monday, Tuesday, or like that. So if I just show, if you want to see how day of week works, type control space, place your cursor there. So if you give the date to day of week, it will return some number. If number is 1 Monday, 2 Tuesday, like that, 7 is Sunday. Okay. So now what I do is I'll make use of if function also, guys. You see how if function work. Okay, we'll write the condition and write the value if it is true. Condition is true and write the value if it is false. You know, I say if, then here I type control space day of week of travel date. The day of week of my travel date is equal to 1. If it is 1, if day of week of my travel date is 1, okay, then I write it as Monday. I'm writing it as Monday because day of week gives you a number, not Monday or Tuesday. Okay, it is Monday. Else, else. In the else, I write another if condition. In the else, I write another if condition. Okay, so in this case, I'll go with this. Again, I write this, copy this. If day of week is 2, then I write it as Tuesday. Okay, else, again an if condition. If it is 3, then it is 1. So keep on writing this. Write it as Friday. Again, I write an if condition. Sorry. If day of week is 6, then I write it as Saturday. Else, if it is anything else, guys, you day of week returns only till 7, right? Okay, then I write it as Sunday. Anything else is Sunday. Let's say format, you'll see valid formula. If it is 1 Monday, then else if it is 2 Tuesday, else if it is 3, else if this is like else if. Okay, if it is anything else apart from 1 to 6, it is Sunday. Then you say this, right? You want to cross check 11/3 28 to 2017. So February 28, 2017. It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday here. You see it perfectly fine. Yeah, okay. So I now created a travel day, which gives the day of your travel. You see all the travel days. So based on your date, I just determine whether what day it is. I also want to know, guys, whether your travel day is on weekday or weekend. Okay. So in this case, I create a new calculation that. Okay. So I just go with as travel day underscore week, something like this, where I say if day of week of travel date is less than or equal to 5. If your day of week is less than or equal to 5, then write it as weekday. Else weekend. Hmm? Else it is weekend. The format. So you get to know whether it is weekday or weekends. Okay. So you also know the travel day, and you also will see, okay, whether it is on a weekday or a weekend. Your travel is happening over weekday or weekends. If it is Monday to Friday, then weekday, else it is weekend. And also, so here in this case, what I do is I'll go to travel day. This is your formula. I'll add some attributes here. I'll add a property attribute to travel day, where I add this travel day week as a property attribute to travel day. Okay. So this travel day week, I just added it as a property attribute. Okay. So guys, so far we created like uh, four, yeah, four calculations. Couple of them are normal and a couple of columns are on date. So far I used for case date, add day of week and if dates. Then we have some other date functions also, guys, like to date, make date. Like if you want to convert any string into a date, you can make use of to date. Okay, you want to convert any, you want to make date out of any string. So these two are like similar things, to date and make date. Okay. Okay, let me use something like, so how to date works. As of now, I don't need to date, so I just show you what exactly it is, how it works. So to date, you can convert any string into a date, guys. So I'll show it. So for suppose you have something like this. So 04 2024 13. So guys, no one believes it is a date, right? So you can actually convert this into date in this format, like YYYY DD. If you use this, so it will be converted into a date. Now you see it is 2024 04 13. Okay. You can convert any string into a date using this toDate function. So as of now, I really don't need this. I don't have any scenario for toDates as of now. Then you also have an option of make date, guys. I'll show the make date also. In the make date, you just give the year, month, and date. It will create a date out of it. Okay. And also we have something like date difference, guys. Okay, date difference is like this. You date one, date two, and see the granularity. If you give day, it will calculate the number of days between date one and date two. Okay. If you are month, it will calculate the month's difference. Date difference is very, very frequently used, guys. I'll tell you, guys, for suppose you got some requirement, like uh, you want to bucket, like how many orders has been delivered within 2 days, how many orders took 2 to 5 days, how many orders took greater than 5 days, 5 to 10 days, and how many orders took greater than 10 days. Okay. In that case, how do you write it? Can simply make use of date difference and if condition to do that. If, okay, if date difference of this is less than 2, so write the bucket as less than 2 days. Else, if the date difference is greater than 2 days and less than 5 days, write the bucket as 2 to 5 days, like that. I'll just give you something like this. So suppose case if hmm, here I don't have ship date or order date. If date difference of what dates I have travel date and last date to claim, right? If date difference of last date to claim. Okay, I'll do one thing. Here I'll give a date. I'll use an option called make date. I'll use an option called make date, guys. Okay, I'll use like this. First, I'll make a date. I'll give it as 2017. Okay, suppose my cutoff date is 03 March 31st, 2017. Now I have data from 01 01. I'll give Jan 1st, 2017. Just give me a moment. I'm creating a scenario. Okay, so I'll make a date out of this. See here, it will make your date as 2017-01-01. So I say now, I'll simply copy this, Control C. I'll go for date difference now. Okay, date difference of travel date. Date 2 I give it as make date. Hmm. And here granularity I go with this month. Update preview. If it is 88th May 2017, then month is 4 days, 4 months, right? If it is 710 months, it is 72, it's greater than 1 month. I'll go with the day only. Month is not giving me correct results. You see the difference between your travel day and So 12 days, 96, 100 days like this. So in this case, what I do is I can also do some bucketing, guys. I copy this. If Control V. Okay, if date difference is less than or equal to 30, I put a bucket called 0 to 30 days. I'll put my bucket as like this. Days. Okay, else. Okay, in the else I write another if condition. Again I say if this date difference sorry, if it is okay greater than 30 and again date difference is less than or equal to 60. 60, yeah, I give it as put a bucket as days 30 to 60. Else if okay, again same story. Control V is greater than 60 and date difference is less than or equal to 100. I create it as days 60 to 100 and anything again if anything else if date difference is else if greater than mm, okay, anything else I just take it as days greater than 100. Let's say I create it as travel bucket, something like this. What's wrong with my data? Just give me a moment, guys. Guys, I think this parentage issue only, nothing else. Hmm, Perfectly fine. Instead of this, I'll put it as 0 to 30. 30 to 60. 30 to 60, 60 to 100. This is like travel day bucket. I just put like, okay. I'm just doing some bucketing on the data. Let's update preview. This is the 30 days. This is 30 to 60, 60 to 100. Anything greater than 100 also you'll see. This is greater than 100. Okay. Travel day bucket is what I just put. Yes. So I just go like, let me copy this. If it is less than 15, else if common dictate day and day difference. Yes. Oh, yeah, this makes sense now. It is 60 and date difference is less than 160. Yes. So this one I just take it as travel day bucket, guys. So here you go. You can do this bucketing using this date difference from. Save it up. Yeah, okay. So you see the travel day bucket also got created. So guys, again, so these are like your date functions. I made use of to date, make date, date difference, day of the week, date add, almost all the date functions I used, and I also made use of the if condition heavily. Okay, then let's make use of some string functions also, guys. Here I just go. Let me make use of some string function.
Satya, can we bring this system date here?
No, my data model don't have system date. Come on, man. Please ask some relevant questions. This is all file data, right? So you cannot have this date dimension and system dates here. So yeah, so I'll also make use of something like as you all know, if we already use substring, we use trim. If you have any spaces, if you want to remove the spaces, you can make use of trim function. That's fine. Contain. Okay. You want to see how many travels of all the travels, how many travels are from San Francisco? How much percentage of the travel is happening from San Francisco? Okay. In this case, what I do is I'll make use of a contain function. Okay. So how the contain function, you give the string and what you want in the string. So in the contain function, I give city pay, the city pay names where you got like San Francisco. Okay. It will return one if the city pay names contain San Francisco anyway. It will return zero if it doesn't contain. Yeah, here you see San Francisco, Seattle, it is one. All other cities zeros. So that is how you see the contain functions. And I can make use of this guys in the reporting layer to identify how much percentage of the travels are from San Francisco. Okay. So just travel count of, I'll summarize this. Okay. The number of travels has SF as one, a number of travels, but overall travel count gives you the picture, final picture guys. So again, I can go, let me see what functions I have. I use date concat guys, you already know, replace, you know, right? You want to replace any component of data, you can replace. We already did concat replace. Length. If you want to see the length of your data, you can make use of length. Okay. Here guys, I have a scenario. Here I got something like a home office code. The length is on a higher side. If home office code is greater than 25 digits, I would like to pick only the first 25 digits. I'll tell you, see here. If I'll go length, I'll go to the length and write home office code here. If my length of home office code less than or equal to 25 digits, so then pick home office code directly. What I say? Pick home office code directly. Else, pick only the first 25 digits of home office code. In that case, I'll go write substring. I'll write substring on home office code, start on 0, pick 25 digits. If length is less than equal to 25, pick home office code, else pick first 25 digits. I can create this like office code, something like that. Okay. Right, you see, office code has been successfully created. What else I have? Let me see what column. So these are like some string functions I have, date functions I already used. Then I got some mathematical functions. Okay. So generally, for suppose you want to exclude, for suppose you want to replace your nulls with 0. So what do you do? Okay. So I just go where I say, then I have a function called is null. If is null of ticket amount, means if your ticket amount is null and this condition is true. Okay, if your ticket amount is null, I write it as 0 and make it as 0. Else pick ticket amount directly. If it is not null, pick the ticket amount. If it is null, make it as 0. So this is how you exclude the nulls. Okay. Now we make our nulls to be 0. So you got ticket amount underscore v1. I can create few calculated measures also. So not, guys, not function. So then you have some functions like min, max, guys. You want to take the minimum or maximum value. Okay, you can make use of this min, max functions also. You all know, guys, min, max. Then you got some functions like round, seal, and uh, floor. You have three functions like round, floor. Okay. So round function means, guys, if you got 2.56, it will be rounded to 3, or 2.89 rounded to 1. It will be 2.21, it will be rounded to 2, like that, right? Whereas if you have a seal function, guys, even it will round to a number, highest number. Like even you got 2.01, will make it 2.01 also will be converted, but 2.99 is also converted to 3 only. Okay, got floor function, guys, will round to number down. So 2.01 is rounded to 2, floor to 2. 2.99 is also floor to 2. You understood, right? Seal will always take you to the next highest number. Floor will always take you to the highest number lesser than the value. Highest number lesser than the value. Seal will take you to the lowest number higher than the value. So I'll show you. Okay, so control space seal. Okay, seal, I just give it as something like 14.01. And number of decimals I would like to see is 0. Say preview. It is 15. Okay, 14.01 is also 15. If I say 14.99, that is also 15. If I go for round on the same value, okay, I'll use round 14.01 and 0 decimals. That's how the round function works. It is 14 now. The same 14 point, I'll make 7 1. It will be 15. That is how round function works, seal function. If I use the same for floor, it is 14 all the time. Floor will make it always 14. 14.71 is also 14. 14.99 is also 14. Okay, you see all 14s. So that is how your seal and floor function works. In this case, I use seal on carbon footprint. Okay, 0 decimals. 63.07 is 64, 321.64 is 322, up to the next highest value. I'll write it as carbon underscore print. Guys, whenever we finding the excess inventories, right, when you go with excess inventory, we make use of seal function. If excess inventory is 1.05 is also converted to 2 always. Right, so okay. So these are some mathematical functions, guys. Apart from this, you got max, square root, square, powers, etc. So you can make use of that if you want. I don't have any scenario for that, so I just create these calculated dimensions and measures. Okay. All right. So here, guys, I created few dimensions and measures, out of which for travel code, let me add some attribute. I'll add international domestic as a description attribute, guys, straight away. Okay. So total, how many dimensions? I got 620 dimensions and 6 measures. So travel day I want. So there are few things which I don't want, guys. So travel bucket I want, travels and trans. I really don't need office code. I just created to show you this, so I can remove, delete the column. Ticket amount, I don't see any nulls in the ticket amounts, guys. So it's okay. So I'll remove this also. I'll delete this column as well. Ticket amount underscore V1. I also don't need travel underscore San Francisco, guys. So here also I don't need this. So I delete all the columns, what I really don't need. So I just delete it few because I don't need them in my reporting. I just created to show you different functions, how different functions work. Okay, I'll pick these whatever I need. At 18 dimensions and 5 measures, let's say, rebuild my model. I created all my calculated dimensions and measures. I'll make use of this to rebuild. Guys, this is it. So once this model gets saved, let me just see whether it is saved or not. Some issue like it got failed when I'm rebuilding the model. Yeah, it all got saved, so it's fine. Travel day bucket, travel day, travel code, geo country. This is all good. Go to the data management. We'll see the data also. Okay. So 6772 rows were imported. 3 were rejected. Why it got rejected? If I open this, okay, I got it. See guys, for 3 rows, the travel date is blank. Okay. As travel date is blank, cannot it cannot calculate the last day to claim travel day of the week. These things cannot be calculated, right? Because your travel date is blank, invalid date value. So we'll ask the respective travel days team to update it. In my case, I can ignore it. That's okay. Okay. So yes, we created now the travel model with all calculated dimensions. I stop here, guys, for today. In the next session, I'll speak about account dimension, a few basic things on data model, and I'll start building a proper story, proper travel expense dashboard on top of this model. So it's like more like a use case driven story. Okay. So the next two sessions, I'll be completely focused on story building, so building a proper travel expense dashboard on top of this model.
Satya, one question. How can we export model data into Excel sheets?
You have an Excel job, so I'm going to cover that, Mahesh, anyway.
Okay.
The data management, I didn't speak about the data management yet. Here you have an export job. You can create some export jobs. I'll cover this up. So
Oh,
in the upcoming sessions, you'll get to know about export jobs, import jobs, export jobs. I didn't cover it. Okay. All right. Thank you. Have a great day. Thank you so much. We'll meet on Monday again.